Hi, and welcome to USB Hole, the podcast where we talk out of our asses. I'm Sarah, aka Chill,
I'm Teresa, aka the child.
and this week we are diving into weird habits. Are there any weird habits that you can think of that you want to tell us about?
Oh, I have so many weird habits.
All right, give me one.
Okay, so like when I go to through a toll booth, like in Florida, everything is toll by plate now. So you don't stop at any toll booths. It's all like to take a photo. Every time I go through the toll booth, like right when it's about to take the photo, I always drop a chakra. I'm always like, yeah. I don't know why, but I'm always like, if you're gonna see me, I just want to be like, hey, what up? Because like those people are sitting in an office, like looking at a photo, processing a random ticket if you're like speeding or like, oh, hey, pay this bill. And I just feel like they need someone to say hey, like every time.
Does the camera even go up that high? Like, isn't it just trying to capture the license plate?
It takes one in the front and one in the back, at least on the toll roads here by my house, because on your account you can see the photo of the driver and the front of the car in
Oh,
your like for each one of your little charges. So
probably
I
so
don't
they
know.
know who's driving.
Yeah, I think so. Like so that you can't be like, no, that wasn't my car, or so it's still my car, and then you're in the photo.
Shaka bro.
Yeah, it's like every time I go through the toll booth, I pop one of those, or if somebody else is driving, I'm like, hey, 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 wait, and then I like still have to do it from the passenger seat. They probably can't see you on the passenger seat though.
Probably not. I never even thought to do that because, like, I don't think I've ever been anywhere where it's like just the license plate because we all had the iPass, the little transponder thing.
Hmm.
So that goes off, but I don't know if they still take pictures
Yeah.
when you do
On
that.
on the Suncoast Parkway, I use like the Sun Pass for Florida toll roads. They have those little transponder things. Like I have one in one of my cars, but if you have more than one car on your account, you don't have to have it in each car as long as the license plate's there. And you still get like your little discount and they charge it to it and whatever. So I don't
Hmm.
know. Maybe that's another reason why they do the photos so they can be like, okay, yeah, that does belong on that account. But I don't
If
know. I
anyone's
like
from
that.
Florida, now you know.
Yeah. You don't have to buy four of those transponders if you have four cars because
That's nice.
yeah, they're like $25. It's crazy. They used to
That's,
beep and now they don't even beep anymore. Like you
I
don't even
know.
and you could hear them.
What's up with that? Because I'm like looking at it like, did it go off? Or am I going to get fucked by the toll road later on? Like,
Yeah, like am I gonna get a ticket in the mail in a month because I didn't pay this toll even though I have this thing and then you have to go through all this work to get it paid off?
we
Like
went
I
up
don't
to
know.
Galena once in Illinois, and we probably went through 4 or 5 tolls and didn't realize that my license plate was no longer connected to my mom's iPass. And so I got back, and like a month later, I got a huge like list of tolls I missed and all the fines. It came out to like $200.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, so make sure your stuff works.
Yeah, especially since it's so different everywhere else. Like when I was
Right.
out in Colorado, I had to get a different pass that was just like a sticker that went on the window that it somehow scanned. And I never figured out how to use it, so I just kind of didn't take the toll road anymore because like once they took out the toll booths, it's like you never know what you're gonna do. Like, how am I gonna pay this?
Right. We went through Oklahoma. I hope I don't get like arrested for this or something. But we went through Oklahoma,
Allegedly,
allegedly went
allegedly.
through Oklahoma and on our way to California, and we went through probably 4 or 5 tolls. And I didn't know if our iPass worked through it because who the hell knows when you're driving? Like, I don't know if my shit works at all these places. Anyway, so I looked it up and it said it did. Went through, looked it up again, said it didn't. So we just went through probably 5 or 6 tolls without a pass, and Oklahoma has never said anything. And my boyfriend was driving a U-Haul, so U-Haul would have gotten the fine for it, and they didn't say anything either. So,
So
oh
do
well.
you? maybe Oklahoma was like, oh, sorry you had to drive through here, but nothing against Oklahoma. Like you didn't get to stay and hang out. Like you just had to do some driving. All right, we'll let you through.
Yeah, they were like, you need to get out, actually.
Speaking of another weird habit that has to do with tolls, so now that we got on this tangent talking about tolls, like, you remember back, so when they started to transition between like having manned toll booths and having like electronic where you just put coins in, I think I was probably like 16 at the time because I had been driving but not for a long time.
Right.
And every time we'd go through, like the on and off ramps would have the automated ones where you could just put in coins. And there was this little bin at the bottom that just said reject on it. So like that's where the coins went, like if it didn't register them or you put in the wrong amount or if you put in too much or like a Canadian dime sometimes.
Right.
So every time I would go to those, like I'd get my coins out just in case because I was going to pay my toll, but then I'd always check the reject box because there'd always be money in there. So half the time when you're getting on the on and off ramps, like you didn't have to pay because you would just take the money out of the reject box, put it back into the machine, and then go. Like I would get like $5 sometimes on one trip, just like cleaning up, like picking up spare change that somebody forgot to get from the reject box.
Okay, so I had no idea there was a reject box, and I was always like, oh, well, I have too much change, so I'm just gonna throw it in. They're gonna get a tip. Didn't know that it's possible it came out the other end and I could have
And
gotten it
I was
back.
picking it up.
It's like when you used to go to the bowling alley as a kid or whatever, and it had all those arcade games, and you would just go around checking all the slots to see if there's money left in it.
That's exactly it. And then you get like a free turn at the arcade. Well, I would get a free ride on the toll road.
Hey, I mean, whatever works.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any weird habits? Because I feel like I did two related to tolls, which is a little weird in itself.
Yeah, I don't have anything related to tolls, unfortunately. Um, One of my weird habits, and people are probably gonna say, "Oh, OCD." I've not been diagnosed for OCD, so I'm not gonna say that. But I like to count things. So like if I'm going up steps, I have to count the steps. If I'm like if I'm eating something, I'll have to count how many there are and if it's like an even or odd number. And then also if I'm eating things, I have to eat them like in the correct order of color. So like I just had fruit snacks, so I put them all in the right color order and eat them that way. So I feel
So,
like that's kind of a common one, but it's also kind of weird. I don't know.
so do you have to eat the colors in a specific order, or you just want them all separate?
No, I have to eat them in a specific order. And it's not an order like it's not a color order, it's like a specific preference order.
Okay. So like the flavor you like the most, like you might eat last, so that you
Yeah.
can get rid of the gross. Okay. I do that. I wouldn't say I do that all the time, but sometimes I'll do that. Like if it comes to Skittles, because I'm gonna save the yellow for last every time. But just because I like the yellow Skittle and I don't like the rest of the Skittles since they got rid of lime, but I'll
How do
still
you not
grab
like
that
the rest of
instead.
the Skittles? That's weird right there. Wait a
I
second.
like the lemon and I like the lime and like sometimes I like the orange, but I don't like artificial berry flavors because I don't know. I don't like fake cherry. I don't like fake strawberry. I don't like fake grape because don't even get me started on how that even tastes anything like grape because it
It
doesn't.
doesn't.
So I don't know. I just like those two, and then they changed the lime to sour apple, which I feel like I could have a whole episode just about how mad I am about that. So let's we'll go back to you and your food. So like, what makes you choose the order that you eat them in?
It's basically just least like to most like. So yellow would be first for me because I hate it.
Oh, those are fighting words.
And then
Or
green
no, because
because
like, yeah, we could share. You could have your gross
yeah,
ones, and I could have your gross ones. Yeah.
yeah. I do like orange though, so we'd have to fight about it, but I'll take the red. But yeah, so it I don't know if I'm the weird one or if my boyfriend's the weird one because he is the person who, if there's like a mixed variety of anything like Skittles, fruit snacks, what have you, he'll just take a whole handful and just throw it in his mouth. And I don't understand that because Do you not want to taste the flavors? I don't like what. Explain to me. Do you do that? Because I've never once in my life done that. I don't understand.
No, because like if you're putting four different flavors in your mouth at the same time, you're not gonna taste those flavors.
Right.
Like you might as well just buy something that's like mixed fruit or mixed whatever in all in one flavor.
Yeah.
Like that's no, that's an abomination.
That's like instead of saying you have a favorite color, like your favorite color is all the colors mixed. No, that's just brown.
Yeah.
There's no discerning that. I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. No, cut
So,
them up out of here, cut them up. That's not cool. No. You got to eat them separate.
yeah. So I don't think that one's super weird, but I'd say there'd be a split divide between
Yeah.
people. But one weird thing that I still get made fun of by my family for is sleeping with a blanket, like a baby blanket. Why am I admitting this? But so I had one that I had since I was like probably before I was born. Like someone made it for me, and I slept with it all my life. And it is just, I could go show you, but I'm not gonna, because it is gross and falling apart and like one little string left. But my boyfriend had a blanket similar that he didn't use that was also like made back in the day or whatever. And so now I use that one because it's fully intact. So I don't know if it has to do with the fact that it's like a core memory, nostalgia, I have to sleep with it type of thing, or if I just need something under my head.
Yeah, like I think it's probably a comfort thing. I saw something recently, like I wouldn't say it was a documentary, just like this little short like 10-minute film type thing about people who do that. And they were like grown adults, like in their 30s and probably, I don't think 40s, like I would say probably like 20s and 30s. And they showed pictures of them like when they were kids with the blankets and then as adults holding up like what's left of the blanket and that they still sleep with it. Like my
Mood.
dog died in 2018, and every day since then, I have slept with a blanket that was hers. I mean, obviously, I washed it, like it's not like doggy, but because I slept with her for 14 years, so it was like so hard to like transition to sleeping completely alone sometimes. So, like, I kind of get that, but I think like mine's not so much like needing the blanket as like just like filling the empty space in the bed. But I think that you probably do that for like a comfort thing.
But
Like you
like,
switch and use cut 'em up's blanket.
yeah, I just thought it was weird that because I thought for so many years, I used it for over 20 years, that it was because it was that specific blanket. And
Yeah.
that blanket is like super soft. So I think like the type of blanket helped. But then the fact that I was able to switch over to his when mine got too hard to sleep with, it was like, do I just need something more than one pillow under my head? I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's like really sweet and endearing. I don't think I would think that was weird. I guess I mean some people might because like stereotypically like society's like, oh, you don't sleep with a baby blankie or whatever, but I don't know. I think it's cute. I'm all right with
Oh,
it.
oh, speaking of blankets, I want your opinion on this. So me and Eddie sleep, Eddie's my boyfriend, probably should have told you that. But me and Eddie sleep with two blankets in the bed. So we each have our own comforter. And I was talking to someone who told me it was weird that we did that. You should only have one blanket as a couple because that's how it goes. And this brings me into like some weird society things that people just blindly follow that I think is ridiculous, but that's not what this podcast is about. So I just want your opinion. Do you think like what would you do if you were sleeping with someone else?
I don't think that's weird. I get very, very hot when I'm sleeping,
Me
and I
too.
do not want somebody else's body heat near me. And I feel like one blanket, you're just like holding it all in there, and I'm not for that. So I'm super down with having two blankets, and I'm definitely gonna try that in the future.
I just don't get why because the whole reason it came up is because the person I was talking to was complaining that their wife kept taking the blanket while they were sleeping and like hogging it. And I'm like, so why don't you get two blankets? Oh, two blankets. That's weird. What? Why is that weird? Who's seeing you sleep?
So like that person's essentially having no blanket while the wife has the blanket when they could just have two. That makes so much more sense.
But that would be weird.
I don't know. I think it's weird to force yourself to stick to some like made up society norm about a blanket. Like, it's your own, man. You're two different people.
And like I said, who's watching you sleep? To where they're like, I'm gonna judge you because you only have or you have two blankets instead of one. That's weird.
Like
Like,
the blanket police comes in every night
all
and checks your room. They're like, oh,
right,
oh,
this one's
oh,
good.
oh, there's two blankets in here. Nope, nope, nope.
Arrest this man.
Get a fine because you're using two blankets.
Yeah,
So funny.
I thought that was strange.
Do you have any other like food, like weird food habits or like weird things you do with food that like people ever make fun of you for or like give you a hard time or whatever?
Um, I didn't think about this until there was a Good Mythical Morning where Link Neal was talking about this, but when you eat ice cream and you take a spoonful, but then you only eat part of it off the spoon and then leave the rest on the spoon, which I mean, it's kind of weird, but in the comfort of my own home, judging me? But like, I do this out in restaurants and stuff, and he's doing it in front of a million people. So I could see people thinking that's weird and kind of gross that I'm just putting food in my mouth, taking it out, and then leaving it where everyone could see it.
And like not taking the whole bite of ice cream off the spoon at one time.
Right.
Yeah. I would say that it's a little bit weird.
So I'm assuming you don't do this.
No, I don't. I take little tiny bites of stuff because I have a crazy anxiety about people seeing me eat. So like
No.
eating by myself, I do it. Like if I can't get it in my mouth without barely opening my mouth, so you can't see inside my mouth, and like it's not going in there. Like
So you're definitely not opening wide just to take a little bit off of a
no,
spoon.
no. I was putting like a little bit in there at a time, like to the point where a few weeks ago I went out with some friends and we went to trivia and we were sharing this like giant pretzel. And like three times in a row, I like ripped this little piece of the pretzel off and I went to try to put it in my mouth. And three times in a row, I missed my mouth.
Oh my god.
And like I couldn't, like I didn't, I was just not opening my mouth wide enough to get this pretzel in there. And so, like, instead of just opening my mouth a little bit wider to get the pretzel in there, like my anxiety was like, no, 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 you can't let people see inside your mouth. Like, that's gross. Instead, I like dropped a pretzel three times, which is way more embarrassing than opening my mouth. So, like, that's probably weird too. But um, no, I would definitely just be taking like a little bite.
So you're not opening your mouth, and I am grossly opening my mouth. So that's great.
Somewhere like
In the
in between the
middle would be
two.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also have to let my ice cream melt before I'll eat it.
I do
So
like a soft, like
yeah.
a little milk texture, and I like to like use the spoon and scrape the melted part off of like it's still
Hmm.
kind of solid and eat that, and then yeah. All right, so I will look at that. That's not weird. Then that was weird, but we both do it,
Unless we're just both weird.
which is probably more the case than like
Probably. Well, when I was younger, like a teenager, I would just let that shit turn into soup. Like it would be 100% melted before I would eat it. And
lemon
now,
milkshake.
yeah, and it was still kind of cold, so it was good, but like now I just want it semi-melted instead of fully melted because that's just soup.
Yeah,
It's just a sweet soup.
like a it's like a cream, like a or like a dessert soup. Yeah,
It's like something you just put in your coffee.
yeah. You should just market it at a restaurant on the dessert menu as soup, and then people will order it and be like, "What is this?" And it's just like melted.
It's gazpacho. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's like a dairy gazpacho,
Ew.
like
Sounds so
thick,
gross.
cold cream soup.
The more you describe it, the worse it gets.
Okay, well then let's not market that. We're not in the restaurant biz for a reason.
Yeah.
I put like food wise, like when I make a taco, whether it be like a standard like a white girl taco or like a good taco, um, I don't like spicy stuff. So like my whole life, like when I was a kid, everyone else would put hot sauce on stuff, and I would always put French dressing, like a
Oh
good
no.
yes, like a creamy, not like a Catalina, even though Catalina has like the tang, but I don't like that. Like a like the creamy, like the Hidden Valley type consistency, French dressing. Like I would always put that on my tacos when I was a kid because I didn't like spicy stuff. And now I will put like a mild sauce sometimes on my stuff, but I still to this day put French dressing on my tacos and on my burritos.
Okay, this is the
Like,
first one that's officially weirded me out.
but it's so good though. It just has like this like creamy flavor, which okay, so I also don't like
Queso
sour
would be
cream.
good.
Queso would be good, but it gives it like this little creamy tang, and I don't like sour cream, so it like replaces the hot sauce and the sour cream. I don't know, it's so good, you should try it. And if
I
anyone
don't even
listening tries it, like report back, add us on Twitter, let us know. It's so good, it's gonna blow your mind.
I don't even think I've ever tasted French dressing.
What?
I just know what it's made out of and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm
Uh,
picky. We could talk about that later though. But
we'll
I'm a
have to
picky
do a
eater.
whole we could do a whole episode on picky eating.
Oh yeah, because that's me in a nutshell.
So
To get off the topic of food, this is good. Okay, this is gonna be weird. It might not be. I don't know. But I have to smell everything.
well, okay, wait, okay, wait. So like when you say everything though,
Like if it has a smell and it's in my vicinity, I have to know what it smells like.
like do you sniff people?
No, because that's creepy.
Okay, okay. Let's
But
see, because
like
that would have
stuff that people probably don't normally sniff. So like if I think that my armpits are smelly, I'll smell them. And if I think like my toenail is going to be smelly and I cut it, I'll sniff it.
okay, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna vote yeah, that's weird.
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
mean, that's how
say
you know if there's something going on, right? Like if your poop smells super weird, something's probably going on.
I mean that's true, but I feel
It's
like some
evolution.
do you so like if somebody's in the room with you, do you still do it? Or do you like try to like are you aware of it while you're doing it?
I'm, yeah, I think I'm aware. I hope I'm aware of it because no one's ever said anything to me about it. So if I'm not aware of it, then I have no idea if someone's seen me do it. But I've definitely like, I don't know, I smell clothes to see if they're still clean. Like I
Yeah, I
just
could see
need
that.
it's
Yeah.
it's like a need to know type of thing. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's not out of I don't know. It's
Like
hard to explain.
control, like you want to control the situation, so you're like, I need to know what this smells like.
I think it stems from like I think I smell all the time. Like I use extra strength deodorant. I would always be sweaty and gross as a kid. Like I sweat more than I would say a normal person. And I used like when I was younger, I used to get like pit stains and stuff, and it would just be like super embarrassing. So I don't know if it's just like kind of a trauma type thing.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a self-conscious type of like,
Right.
yeah. I'm curious, I would like to know from somebody else that like if you do it like you said you think you're aware of it, but like maybe if cut him up was like, yeah, she totally does this all the time when she doesn't even realize she's doing it. You just walk around sniffing your armpits or something.
Yeah, I want to say I don't do it in front of other people, but I live with him, so who knows?
So maybe, yeah. Like I will unconsciously just like adjust my bra or like if I feel like the cup is out of place, like I will just move it. Like not even thinking about it. Like, doesn't matter who I'm talking to. Like, I'll be at work talking to a customer, and I'm just like, like, and I realize I'm doing it like
Don't mind me.
it's like too late by the time I realize it. So that's why I'm curious, like, if if you do it and don't realize it, as well as doing it while you realize it,
I think
because
the fact that if it's stemming from a self-consciousness, I probably don't do it in front of people because that's what I'm trying to avoid in the first place.
yeah,
So I'm assuming I do it, but like I know you always get nose blind to your own house and your own smells and stuff, and I try really hard to like not let that type of smell permeate my house and stuff because I don't want other people to smell it. So
right,
it's like I'll go around being like, all right, where's this smell coming from? Because I feel like someone else might think it's gross. I don't know.
yeah, huh.
But speaking of smelling shit, um, there was a Reddit thread, I think, that was this guy was talking about how his weird habit is he wipes and doesn't look at the toilet paper before throwing it out. And he was saying that he thought that was normal and people that looked at toilet paper after they wiped were gross. But I want to know how he knows when he's done.
Yeah,
So I think
I
he's the weird one in this situation.
yes, I agree. I need people to also tell us. So you're gonna tell us that you love the French dressing on your tacos. You're gonna try that. You're gonna tweet us, and then you're gonna tweet us when you take a shit later because you had French dressing on your tacos, and you're gonna tell us if you do or you don't look when you wipe. And if you don't look when you wipe, you're gonna tell us how the hell you know you're done wiping. Because
Like,
even when I use a bidet, like when I'm done with the bidet, like I'll use the toilet paper to like just be like, okay, let me just make sure. Because like I need to know for sure. I don't
well,
want shit
yeah.
on my undies.
I mean, you could, people shower and you can, like, still, if you don't get up in there, there's still going to be stuff there. So I don't understand not looking. I obviously, if you're blind, you can't look, but like, what do you do? Sniff it? I don't,
But if you're blind, you have other senses that you use to get you through life. So even if
right.
you're blind, you're not just like, oh, well, maybe I'm done. Like,
Yeah,
and
they're
you can
probably
like
not
figure it
guessing.
out. Yeah, yeah,
No, this guy just straight up didn't smell, didn't like stick it together. This is kind of graphic, but people are talking about like how sometimes you can like stick the piece together and make sure there's nothing there. But this guy
right.
was just like, no, just throws it straight into the bowl, doesn't look.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are gonna let us know. Hit us up on Twitter at chillinchild and tell us what your bathroom habits are. No, don't tell us what your bathroom habits are. No, that's not what I meant. Like relevant to this conversation only.
We don't need to know everything. Some things can be kept a secret.
Yeah. Speaking of bathroom habits, though, another weird thing that I do that recently I've been called out on that I never thought was weird
In the
about
bathroom,
myself.
you've been called out in the bathroom?
Well, I mean, like people don't see me in there, but like I've had this conversation recently. Um, it like I snack in the shower. Like people are telling me this is weird. I enjoy a sandwich in the shower. Like lots of people have shower beers, so like what's the difference? Like people have like grapes and cheese in the bathtub. What's wrong with this like a snack in the shower? Like a sandwich, proper good. Like it's so good. Like you get a little pickle on there and have a crispy sandwich when you're taking a shower. Don't put the bread in the water. It's not gonna get soggy. I don't want to hear that argument. I like it like what I eat in the shower the other day, like chips, those do get a little soggy. So like probably don't go with a chip unless you're like a pro.
You
You
had,
ever
didn't you
eat?
have like Chinese food in the bathtub the other day too?
Well, yeah, that was a bath. But yeah, I had some pork lo mein while I was taking a bath. I had a really long day at work. I needed a soak in the tub. So I just put my pork lo mein in a bowl and I took it to the tub and it was super relaxing and it was delicious.
Okay, so my question will come after this word from our sponsor.
Okay.
So my friend Leisha, so she makes jewelry, and it's pretty neat jewelry. And I'm going to show you if I could pick it up one day for anyone watching the video. Ooh, necklace. Right now, she's doing a thing called Glitter for Good, where I think it's 20% all the proceeds go to charity. And she's working with smaller charities that don't get a lot of funding. So she really needs help with that. And also, her jewelry is just amazing. So we will put a link in the description to where you can go to buy this jewelry. And also, if you use code USB hole, you will get 10% off your order. So now back to my question.
Wait, can you also put a link in there for them to make a donation to the charities that she's working with?
Yeah, there's actually a link in her website.
Oh,
So
awesome.
you can buy a donation and she'll send it off.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Yes. So when you get into the shower and you have your sandwich or what have you, are you showering while eating, or is that two separate things at that point? Because when I get into a shower, I kind of just want to get in and out. So I want to make sure I can be doing something while eating, but that doesn't seem realistic with a sandwich.
I like my shower to be an experience. Like if I'm in a hurry and I'm just like one, two, three, or like I mowed the lawn and I'm just coming in and I'm getting clean and I'm getting out. Otherwise, like when I shower, like that's the part of the day where I'm like ready to relax. I like shower at the end of the day because I like to be super clean when I get into bed. So like it's like my unwind time, or if I'm like just having like a midday shower because I like have the day off and I want to relax, that'd be something that I'll do. So I turn the shower on and everything and like let the water start getting hot. And I usually will put like whatever I'm snacking on like on the little shelf in the corner of the shower so that it's not in like the direct water like coming down on my head. So like
Right.
I might do that and then like take a bite, or like if it's a sandwich particularly, like I'll put the sandwich down, like I'll get the water running, and while I'm in there, like it'll be on my body, and I'll have a bite of the sandwich. Like while I'm chewing the sandwich, like I'll be getting my hair wet, and then I might, get my hair all wet, take another bite of the sandwich, and like get the shampoo, put that in, do my lather and everything, all while I'm chewing. So it's like kind of in between. So like you take a bite and you do something while you chew. So it's still productive. Like I'm not in there wasting water, but I'm like having a whole experience, like that burning, scalding hot water running down my body, chewing the food. Like I feel like the water on your body, like, especially when it's hot, like if my skin is tingly, like I feel so much more sensation. So like when I'm eating, I enjoy the sandwich so much more because I'm like focusing on how good the sandwich is. It's like a
See, I
whole
feel
experience.
like I would be the exact opposite. I would be too worried about ruining my sandwich or getting stuff down the drain or what have you. And I don't know. I use showers for efficiency rather than an experience, I guess. So that's the only reason I can understand it. I just don't do it.
Just give it a try sometime.
I don't know if I
Or
will.
like even don't like so a sandwich might be a little too advanced because there's multiple parts, you have to keep it together. So like try something else. Like take a pack of fruit snacks in there. Eat them one color at a time. Shit's gonna be delicious. Like you're gonna love it.
But I could just eat them when I'm out of the shower. I like to be relaxing when I'm
Fun.
eating. Like I want to be sitting on the couch like a potato, watching something stupid while I'm eating. Like I want to be completely zoned out, not thinking about anything else. And the shower is just too much work for that.
I could see that. I could see that.
But
But
that's just preference.
yeah. Do you like a shower beer? Like have you ever enjoyed a shower beer?
I have. I've done a shower beer, but most of my beers I don't drink like from the can or from the bottle. And I think it works a lot better that way because I'm really worried about breaking glass because I'm a klutz.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I could drink it out of the can, I guess I could try that.
Yeah. Or a plastic cup. It takes away
But
from the experience though because you drink craft beers that are better, you
yeah,
know. Just drink it and taste the aluminum.
I'll just have to buy like a Miller Lite or something. Oh,
My
I could get like a Topo Chico hard seltzer. Those are good.
oh yeah, oh god, I had the strawberry mango one at a concert a couple weeks ago. Ooh, that one was so good.
It's just so refreshing.
Yeah. I don't typically like seltzer water or like the hard seltzers, but it doesn't have that gross, like that dry aftertaste.
Yeah.
It's just so good and refreshing, and it tastes really good, and it went down so much smoother as
And
a
they are not a sponsor.
$20 beer at a concert. I'll live for a $20 concert beer though. I live for a concert beer. Not all night though, because then it's like so much more than the tickets to the concert, but like you have to have at least one
Oh
as a
yeah.
concert beer to have it. I think that's like a common thing
I
because
mean, that's just adding to the experience.
yeah,
You set aside this certain amount of money for like an entertainment night out type thing, and it's the same as like going bowling or whatever. You just set aside the money, you might as well use it.
it's like sure, I could drink 12 of them in the parking lot for the same price, but I really want to have this one inside here because I just feel like I'm all in to this
Yeah.
experience and what's happening. And like with COVID and like the lockdown and everything being like canceled and especially like festivals and stuff, like all of the concerts. I used to go to so many concerts and then like in 2020, I literally couldn't go to any and it was such an odd experience, obviously for everyone. So 2021, I finally got to go to a concert again for the first time since like everything happened in the world. And like the very first thing I did when I got there was I went and I bought a Michelob Ultra
Oh,
again, like
gross.
not a product placement, but I bought a Michelob Ultra, like the tall boy. That thing was $22,
Oh my
and it was
God.
so good. It was like the best beer I ever had in my life because I was like, oh my God, I have been waiting like 18 months for this. And it was so good and it made it so worth the money. But normally I would not pay that much money for a beer,
No, I've
especially
paid
not like
less
a,
for a cocktail at a concert, and cocktails are usually extremely overpriced.
yeah. It was it was just that like epitome, like I'm back, like this is happening. I'm so like stoked for
Yeah,
this.
it
And
wasn't
it's
the
like,
beer, it was the excitement
yeah,
around the beer.
yeah. It was like the ability to be there buying that beer and it was like euphoric.
Yeah. Now that they started selling hard seltzers at concerts, I usually do that just because I don't want all these draft beers. I don't want like Miller Lite. I don't want Michelob Ultra. I just want something that tastes okay, even if I'm gonna pay a lot of money for it. So,
Yeah, because you're not into like regular, like boring, like
no.
pilsners and that kind of stuff. Like every beer you have showed me that you have gotten, that you're like driving out to Pasadena for, like the beer itself looks like an entire experience. Like,
Yeah. Talk about weird habits. I pay $8 a beer in a store, not at a concert, in an actual store. Imagine how much they would cost at a concert.
and
That'd
you
be a
drive all the way to Pasadena to get it, like
all the way. It's like 15 minutes.
15 minutes, whatever, that's far. Like,
I just drove an hour to find Raising Cane's yesterday, okay? I am not above driving.
yeah, I get that. Like growing up where I live now, the closest anything was like a 30-minute drive. So now that I feel like stuff is closer, like more and more things are opening. So like some stuff is like only 5 or 10 minutes to get there. And it's like I'm like, oh, I have to go across town. I'm like, no, I don't have to go across town anymore. So I think I'm just stuck in that mentality of like all the way over there because I'm not used to things being
Yeah.
closer now.
I went to
I'd say Pat,
Wisconsin.
what?
Sorry, go ahead.
Wisconsin?
Yeah, because I went to a place in Wisconsin where my aunt and uncle lived, and literally, even just to get to like a Payless, you would have to go 45 minutes. And I'm like, how do you live like this?
Did they live like in the woods or like
Yeah, it was
some area?
super northern Wisconsin, so it was basically Canada. Like it was all just it was all just nothing. Not saying Canada has nothing, but like when you go to the bottom of that part, it's just like rolling hills. That was all there was. So
Okay.
the town had there were three three entrances from the highway, and they all led to the same exact spot in the town.
Hmm.
And it was the McDonald's, the one thing that they had. That was the only fast food they had.
What?
So I was like, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how they did it because 30 minutes to get anywhere would piss me off.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like blown up like crazy. Like the county that I live in right now is the fastest growing county in Florida at the moment. And as we already know, Florida is the most expensive place. Like it's ridiculous right now. And it's like in the past 5 years, this has become like a foreign land. Like I don't even recognize half of it. It's crazy.
People just keep buying stuff up. Now none of us can afford rent. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. But they won't put something good here. They won't open a Raising Cane's near you. Like put give me something good near me. Like they're taking so like all of the stores that we did have close by, they're closing and reopening in like this more popular area that's like 35, 40 minutes from here. And they're like super building that up to kind of make it like a mini Tampa is what they're trying to do. So like all of the stores that we did have that were closed are now closed and they moved them over there. So it's like if I want to go to Chick-fil-A, like yeah, like I like the food, not like supporting the policies, just the food. Uh, I have to
Awful
drive
frets.
35 minutes one direction if I want to get a chicken mini, or 40 minutes a different direction if I want to get a chicken mini. Like, why can't we get a chicken mini somewhere near my house? Like, why do we need $7,000 generals and 7,000 storage facilities, but I can't get some chicken minis or like a latte nearby?
That's stupid.
Yeah,
I don't
we
get
got off
zoning.
topic. I'm sorry.
Well, even living in LA, like the amount of fast food isn't good. Like I only have one Dairy Queen that's in a mall and it closes at like 7. So I want ice cream last night and I couldn't have ice cream. Not from Dairy
Uh,
Queen.
we have like an obnoxious number of McDonald's, Taco Bell's, KFC's, and Burger King's. But everything else, there's like one of, if it even exists, and they're like far away.
Yep, that's how
They
this
opened
is.
they opened a Pot Pies like catty corner across the street from where my store is, and they only ever have like two people working, so the lobby is always locked,
Oh
and the
God.
drive-through is literally like 17 cars long at all times. And it's like if you thought you were gonna get a chicken sandwich, you're not getting a chicken sandwich. But
I'm
I
trying to
got
look up
way off topic
I'm
again.
trying to look up how many Taco Bells are in Burbank because I think there's like 7. It's disgusting.
It's so many Taco Bells.
I don't
And
know why.
I got Taco Bell today because you told me about Taco Bell yesterday, which I don't know if that counts as a weird habit that if somebody tells me about some kind of food, I'm gonna need to go eat it.
Well, yesterday I went to Raising Cane's and then you got Zaxby's.
I had to. We don't have a Raising Cane. And I drove 25 minutes to get the Zaxby.
Yeah, we don't have a Zaxby's, and I drove an
Yeah.
hour to get to Raising Cane's because the one in
Oh
Burbank
gosh.
is never gonna open.
It's never opening.
No.
When I lived in South Carolina, we had Zaxby's everywhere, and they were so good. And then I moved down here, and it was like I had FOMO real bad. And then they built a Zaxby's like 2 years ago, and it's really exciting now. But by the time I go and get it and come back home, it's always cold and soggy because it's
Mm.
so far away. But I don't want to eat it inside.
That's why we always ate in our car during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they wouldn't let us inside, but it was like 30 minutes away, and I was like, I'm not driving this back home. Just bring the ketchup from the fridge and let's go.
Oh God, don't even get me started on the ketchup.
Oh
That is
yeah,
like I don't think it's a habit, but I absolutely hate ketchup. It's
yeah.
disgusting.
I put that
But
shit on everything.
oh God, no. Oh, the smell of it literally makes my stomach turn like instantly. Like yesterday we went to brunch and for some reason they decided they needed to put a little ramekin can of ketchup on my plate. Nothing on my plate would be eaten with ketchup.
Potatoes.
Potatoes on like ketchup on potatoes?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, no, gross.
that's why they did it.
Well, they put my plate down, and like I went from my stomach growling and like being so excited to eat this brunch that I waited all day to eat, and it was 2 in the afternoon almost. And I just got a whiff of that ketchup, and I instantly was like, I don't even want this food anymore. I don't, it's just something about it. So I'm like, get this away from me.
You
I don't
also had
like,
eggs, right?
yeah.
People put ketchup
Yeah,
on
people
eggs.
put ketchup on eggs, yeah. But like at a fancy brunch place, people are like, let me get some ketchup on my eggs.
Was it that fancy?
That they think it is, but we're not gonna name the name of it. Like that's a that's a whole nother topic. Overhyped things.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hour wait, and yeah, it was not worth the 2 hour wait. Anyway, um, yeah, so I don't like ketchup. I'll eat it like mixed with something, like a mixed with mayonnaise on a um like on a burger, but it has to be mixed. Like I do not want to
Like
go to
fry sauce.
um sure, I don't know
I
what
don't
that
know
is.
what fry sauce is either.
Like if I make a burger at home, I'll take a ramekin and I'll put mustard, ketchup, and mayonnaise in it and mix it all together.
That's
But
good.
like, yeah, but if the ketchup is by itself, like smell or the consistency, if I touch it or I smell it, I don't want it.
I mean,
Really
that could
bad.
be, yeah, that could be a weird habit because you won't even touch it. So, like,
Yeah, I don't. Ugh, I don't like
speaking
that.
of touching things, how do you feel about certain fabrics? I don't know if that's technically a weird habit
Oh,
either, but there are some fabrics like corduroy or velvet where if I touch it, I get physically nauseous.
oh, is it like that little like stagnant and resistant
I don't know what it is,
material
but even you
or
making this,
molecule?
even
Yeah.
you
Oh,
going
sorry.
like that
Sorry.
freaked me out.
Oh God, sorry. Oh, I mean, I don't have that problem, but I could definitely see that being a thing. I like I don't know the actual name of it. I think like I don't think it's actually microfiber, but it's like that really soft. Like they make a lot of blankets like that now.
Yeah.
Um, but like the one side is super super soft and the other is soft, but like a different kind.
Hmm.
Well, like the super super soft one, that fabric I this is a weird habit. If I'm feeling anxious, I will rub it on my cheek. I
Well,
rub
that's
it
like
on
a
my
comfort
face.
thing.
Yeah, and it calms me down, which I used to do, which I guess is more weird. Um, I used to do that with my dog. Like if I was having a panic attack, she would come and she would like cuddle by me, and I would literally rub her ear on my cheek until I calmed down. Like I
That's
don't know.
not weird. Well, at least I don't think it's weird
I
because I've rubbed soft things on my face all the
yeah,
time. It just
yeah,
feels
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Like I would just like get a little ear right there and then like the blankets because it's like as soft as her ear was.
Yeah, that's not weird. I think that's like a common
Yeah.
like thing to comfort people because I know little kids, there are certain little kids who will like touch their lips for comfort and stuff, and I think that has a similar type thing with the
Maybe
face.
like a sensory thing on the
Yeah,
face maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't like the feeling of like a rayon or like this tablecloth right here. Just made me think of this. This feels almost like touching sandpaper, like this
Ew.
fabric. Yeah. That's not a weird habit. That's just back on the types of fabric topic, but yeah, I don't care much for that.
I know there are people who have weird habits. I don't know if it's a habit or more like a an addiction, but to eating weird stuff. And some of those things that they chew on makes my skin crawl. Like someone who chews on like a sponge
Mm.
or aluminum foil
No.
or stuff like that. And
You just gave me chills.
yeah, it's grossing me out. Like I
Yeah.
want to puke just thinking
Yeah.
about it, but
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
like,
know.
no offense to those people, but
No, but
ooh, because I'm
yeah.
sure some stuff we do would give them the same feeling. But ooh, yeah. Ooh, no.
Even if I bite something that's rubbery that shouldn't be, like chicken or something, I'll have to immediately spit it out
Yeah.
because a lot of, we'll get into this when we do picky eating, but a lot of my picky eating is because of texture.
100%.
And
Definitely
it's,
there with you on that one.
ugh,
I, so this is, I don't know if this is a weird habit, but it definitely has to do with texture, and it is definitely something weird, but maybe not a habit. I am a huge fan of kissing, so don't take this like I don't like kissing, but I 100% do not like the texture of a tongue in my mouth, which has been such an issue, like dating and like meeting people, and, like, until you're like in a relationship where the people like totally get it, like, oh God, it just, ugh. Like when a tongue touches my tongue, the feeling just makes my skin crawl, and it makes it like, oh God, the most awkward interaction when you're like trying to get into it. And I'm like at the same time totally grossed out, but not grossed out by the person, just grossed out by the feeling of the tongue. Is that is that weird?
No,
Are you
because
totally grossed out by tongues?
not totally grossed out. Like it's not my preference,
Yeah.
but it kissing more grosses me out when people are overly like slobber.
Oh yeah, for
Ugh.
sure.
Like just
Yeah.
thinking about it grosses me out. But if we only kiss for like 2 seconds and all of a sudden my whole entire face is wet, I'm
No.
upset.
Oh no, gross. Like you're like, yeah, I'm not trying to take a bath, but that's like a hard, like a weird thing to like explain to somebody when you start talking to them, like new,
Yeah.
is not something that I'm a huge fan of anyway. Um, but yeah, to have to like get to that point in like the chatting or like been on a date type of phase, be like, hey, by the way, don't put your tongue in my mouth. Like, I don't know. I think it's kind of weird
Well, I feel like that's what everyone defaults to is
to
just
just,
tongue.
ugh,
And it's
ugh,
like
why?
there's two different types of kissing here. You have the lips and then you have French kissing.
Yeah,
Like no one said it has to always be with tongue.
yeah, I'm not into it. It's not my deal.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not a huge fan either. Now that I'm thinking about it. Because
like,
that's gonna make it extra slobbery.
yeah. And some people are just like, oh God, ugh, no, they're like, it's all they want to do is like choke you. And I'm like, get out of here. Like, goodbye.
People are gonna think we're such prudes.
I didn't
Whoops.
like anything in my mouth. I said I didn't like tongues in my mouth.
True.
I didn't say I didn't like tongues. I just don't like them in my mouth. I don't
True.
like the, like the two together. Odd, but I don't know. Do you have it? I feel like we're just like getting distracted so easily, which is so us. And I was trying to remember if I had any other like weird habits that I was gonna talk about because I had thought of one and then I forgot what it was, which is just a habit of mine. It's not weird, it's pretty common. It's called I kill all my brain cells daily. Um, oh, sometimes I will like not necessarily even if I'm nervous, like I'll just do it. I'll do it whether I'm by myself or with other people, or I just like randomly start singing whatever my sentence is to myself. And not in a hey, I'm a singer or I have a great voice kind of way, but like I'd be saying, like, gonna do a podcast with Sarah. Like, I'm walking to the kitchen to put this in the sink. Like, not because I'm trying to sing. Like, I just have to tell myself what I'm doing, but I do it out loud, even when there's people around.
I think that more people talk to themselves out loud than don't. And
But
I think I'm kind
they
of weird that
sing
I
it.
don't. Well, I'm just talking in general. I mean, singing it might be a
Yeah.
little weirder than just talking out loud, but I feel like a lot of people do talk out loud, and I feel like I've never done it, so I might be the weird one.
You
Like I have
like in your
internal,
head?
yeah, I have
Okay.
internal monologue. I just don't.
Okay.
Did you know some people don't have internal monologue?
I recently learned that. I thought that I was the only one who did have it for a long time, and then I learned that like it's a common thing. And then somebody was like, hey, somebody told me recently that they hear themselves talk in their head. And I'm like, yeah, you don't? I'm like, what do you have going on then?
What's going on up there, man?
Like like how can be full like completely engaged in a conversation with somebody and still be talking inside of my head at the same time. Like, say this next. Oh, don't say that.
Yeah,
Like,
like I'm always constantly going. Like there's no stopping it at this point.
I need to know what's going on inside the heads of people who don't have that. If you don't have an internal dialogue, well, I have a dialogue because I go back and forth because I'm a little cuckoo, but internal monologue, I guess, or like a discourse inside your head.
Or at least thoughts like, what am I going to do next? Or what do I have to do today? Or like, how am I going to get this done? Just any thought whatsoever. Is that not a thing?
Yeah, we need to hear your feedback on that also. Hit us up on
Yeah.
Twitter, Chillin' Child. It's at CHILLANDCHILD. No the, just Chillin' Child. I need to hear your feedback on all of these topics, and maybe we'll like loop back around to your feedback episode next month or something.
Yeah, we're still working on some of the socials, so it may not be the same name across all of them, but if you see us, hit us up, tell us what you like, what you don't like, what habits you have. And this is our first podcast. I think we're good.
I think it went pretty well, and we can't wait to talk out our asses next week.
See you later.